Welcome, everybody, and let's start. If everyone can type into the chat box just one or two words or a sentence or two just about what inspired you to show up today and to want to know more about the training program, and also where you're from, if that feels right. Okay, you have to learn to be fully present. Curiosity. Breathwork is powerful. Curious what may come of this workshop. Self-healing and healing of others. Curiosity, healing my mind. I've attended 3 sessions so far, and it's been transformational. Very interested in breathwork for life energy. And okay, just wanted to know more. Curiosity, want to learn more to help myself and others. Okay, so wanted to develop my spiritual practice, wanted to develop personal development. Yes, 1/3 of our program is about that. Always interested in learning new things. Breathwork helped my spiritual journey. Want to learn how to teach others. Healing myself and others. Interested in well-being and healing. So all of those things are perfect. And one of the reasons that I've spent so much time developing this breathwork modality, I actually started by facilitating a different modality, holotropic breathwork, about 15 years ago, and saw the incredible results that were available to people, and was inspired then to start my own modality that could be done online. Holotropic has to be done in person, in large rooms, and with their 10-hour workshops. So I was inspired in one of my own breathwork sessions to create a modality that could be done affordably and conveniently, either online or in person. And that's ultimately how neurodynamic breathwork got started. And at the beginning, it was interesting because this was about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and online breathwork wasn't really much out there yet at that time. And so I really had to test to really see, would it work? And how well would it work? And I did a 6-month testing program and saw that people were getting very similar results to in-person sessions, and just started offering it to the public. And now, 6.5 years later, we have close to 200,000 people on our mail list from all around the world, and it's just really inspiring for me to see people have the courage to join and be willing to kind of dive into the unknown and really shift their reality, shift their lives. So about 2 years into it, I created this training program because ultimately my goal was to, and I think everybody wants this on one level or another, like to really make a difference in the world. And what I saw was that breathwork was one of the things that could really create transformational results, even in just a session or two. And that I really saw that it was part of my mission in life, really just to make it available to people and to allow people to really see their power and have these experiences in a safe way. And then people started asking me, oh my God, I'm getting these amazing experiences. I want to be able to present these experiences and to hold space for my friends and family also, and to make a difference in the people in my lives. And that's ultimately what inspired me to create the training program. And it's been going for like 3.5 years now. We have several hundred people out there leading workshops and making a difference in their friends' lives also, and their families' lives, and in their own life. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the program and give you a chance to ask whatever questions you would like, and to see if this is really a good fit for you. We spent, like I said, about a year developing it because our goal was to be the best online program in the world. The program is entirely online. So you just have to have a quiet space to be available for the live sessions, and a reasonable internet connection in order to participate. So, and again, if you have any questions, please put them into the chat. So I'm going to start first by I'm talking about like what the training program entails and what's involved and what the commitment is. And also what kind of results then people see in their lives from doing the training. Because this is really, we call it a breathwork training, but it's really more like a life training. It's a training in how to be more present with yourself and others. It's a training in how to get in touch with your unconscious thinking patterns and to move ahead more solidly and confidently in your life. It's a training in how to more effectively create your reality, the reality that you really want, and to consciously create it. So basically what it entails is there's 4 components. The first is their live sessions, and the groups are anywhere between around 30 to 35 people. We keep them fairly small because everybody gets an individual coach, where you'll check in with the coach several times during the training, and where if you get stuck or if you need some support, you can get it. That's very important to us, and so we want to make sure that everybody gets the attention that they need. And I'm also personally present and involved in the vast majority of the sessions. It's very important to me that people really leave the training program fully trained to lead these sessions safely and to make a difference in the world. So the live sessions are on Saturdays, and they're from 9 to 1:30, 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, so 4.5 hours, 3 times a month. And the whole training is a 6-month training. So we have the live sessions where everybody attends, and you can miss up to 3. Everything's taped, everything's recorded, and you'll have access after the training to the sessions if you ever want to, review them or revisit them. The second piece of it is that there's 2 books to read, and that's over the period of the 6 months. The third is you are going to be working with other people in the training, and we normally have 8 or 9 countries represented. It's super cool from all around the world, and so you'll be working with a study partner, and you'll be switching a couple times during the training to do homework in between the sessions with each other. And there are study questions. There are scenarios that you work with to see kind of how you would handle certain things. You actually, in the last half of the training, do practice sessions with other people. So it's like, for instance, you'll be doing a session for them, and then they'll be doing a session for you. These are online sessions. You're also going to be asked to do a few in-person sessions with someone in your life. So this is a training in both online breathwork and in-person breathwork. We want you to be able to be comfortable and confident doing both. So there's that, and then there's homework about maybe an hour and a half a week to prepare for the live sessions, videos to watch. And then you will also, the last piece of it is that you'll be doing 1 session a week of our online breathwork that we provide on our platform. And we do 5 live sessions every week, so you just choose the one that you want to do. And it doesn't have to be like exactly 1 a week. You can do like none and then 2 the next week or whatever, but an average of 1 a week. And this is an important component of the training. Actually participating in these online sessions that have anywhere from 50 to 250 people, not only do you have your own sessions where, the more you do the breath work yourself, the more effectively you can hold space for others, but also you'll be seeing how we handle situations that come up in the share group that we have at the end, where people share their experiences and ask for support if they need it. And so you can kind of see, oh, how would I answer that question? So it's a very important part of the training. You'll pretty much see everything that can happen over a 6-month period. And the total time commitment is the 4.5 hours, 3 times a month. Plus, again, like one of the participating in a live online breathwork session every week, which is about 2.5 hours. And then about everything else is about maybe an additional 4 hours a week. So, that pretty much comprises it. And this breath work is very different from almost every other form of breath work out there. And and basically the breathworks are different because the purposes and the underlying principles are different. And in this breathwork, one of the more important underlying principles is that everybody has what I call an inner guiding intelligence. Other people, like Joe Dispenza, calls it kind of connection to the quantum field or connection to source or higher self or whatever. And the purpose is not only for people to have their experiences during the breathwork, but also to be able to connect to this inner guiding intelligence and to have the breathwork experience be basically brought up from their own inner world. So it's not guided or pushed in any specific direction by the facilitator. So what you'll be trained to do in these sessions or in the training is how to hold space for people to have these experiences, for them to access their own inner guiding intelligence, and for them to actually come out. And then 75% of our regular breathers actually report this in our studies, to come out and to, after having strengthened this neural pathway to their inner guiding intelligence, to be able to better access it in their everyday life. So that when they have decisions to make, they can just close their eyes and connect to this kind of inner intuition, rather than trying to always have to figure it out. And we call it a modality of radical self-empowerment because people really start to see that the answers lie within, that they don't have to depend on the outside world to make them happy or to, or for anything really. So again, this is something that, either people kind of resonate with or they don't, because most breath work out there is what I call guru breath work, where it's more about the facilitator. And during the music session, and for those of you who haven't tried one of our sessions, we do play a scientifically designed music set, and the sessions are about 1 hour music. That during the session, they'll say, like breathe deeper, connect to love, or, or even the music has English words. And this is basically an attempt to guide the experience in a specific way where the facilitator believes that the experience should go. And again, this is very different than that. I have no idea what a breather's experiences should be. Everybody has their own individualized healing experience in the breathwork session. And the experiences are different each time. It's kind of like, I liken it to going to Disneyland every session, but each time the rides have all changed and you have no idea what's going to happen. And so, again, this is a modality that, I created. I spent a year developing. I've spent 4 years personally involved in the training, developing it and being involved in it. And the reason that I do it is, and the reason that, getting up to that kind of a mail list, it's taken me countless hours. It's like my life is pretty much about breath work. But the reason I do it is because it's incredibly heartwarming and inspiring for me to see the difference that people make in their lives when they connect to their inner guidance, where they have these experiences that they would have not had in their everyday life, where they can quiet their ego mind through this breath work and really make huge shifts in their consciousness, in their way of looking at the world. And, that's what really allows me to, put in the hours and the time and the energy that needs to happen to really, build this platform and continue to grow it. And so basically, who are we looking for in these trainings? And who we're looking for is basically, first of all, it takes courage. It takes courage to do breath work because you never know what's going to happen. And anytime you learn how to do something like this, especially where you're holding space for people to go into these, I call it expanded states of consciousness, it also takes courage to try something new. But for me, I'm looking for people who want to learn how to be more present in their lives. And this is not just a breathwork training, it's more of a life training. All of the things that you learn can be also applied to your everyday life. And just an example, there was a woman who came into the training, I think this was about a year ago. and she relayed in a share that she'd been married for 7 years, and on a pretty regular basis, almost every month or month and a half, she would get into this huge argument with her husband. And it was always around the same thing. And what it was that he would say something that made her feel like he was not respecting her contribution to the relationship, to the marriage. You know, he was out there working, she was bringing up their child, and then they would get into this huge argument about it. And she would say to him, "You're doing the same thing over and over again. I've talked to you about this, you know." And anyway, so they would get into this huge blowout. It would take a day or two to heal, and then they'd be okay again until the next one. And one of the things that we teach in the training is that when you have a strong emotion, it's never caused by something that happens in the outside world. It's not about what happens in that moment. It's triggering something that's already inside of you from your past and bringing it up for processing. But normally, I mean, people who don't do a lot of inner work immediately attribute it to something somebody said. In this case, it was what her husband said, or something that someone did to them. And so what we train people to do is, and what she did in this next time this happened, was she closed her eyes and just looked inside and asked herself 2 questions that we have people ask themselves. Have I ever felt this before? And when was the first time I ever felt it? And after about a minute or so, she went back to her childhood and saw this experience where she was about 9 years old. She walked into her father's room, and he was working on a very important project that had to get done by the next morning. He was super focused, and she was tugging on his shirt, saying, "Daddy, Daddy, I want to help you. I want to help you. Let me help you." And he just looked at her and he said something to the effect of, he was upset just because he was working and focused. "You're only 9 years old. You can't help me. Leave me alone. I have to finish this project." And in that moment, she felt she wasn't being seen. She wasn't being heard. She was like invisible to her father. And even though she didn't even remember that, until she went and did this inner work, it was embedded in her consciousness. And so when her husband was saying these things to her, it brought up all these feelings about not being seen and not being heard. And she noticed that even like her husband's vocal tone was similar to what her father's was. And once she saw this, she said, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And she opened her eyes and told her husband, "You know what? I just learned something very important about myself. Life-changing. Thank you for being my teacher in this moment." And you can imagine what his reaction was after 7 years of this immediate reaction in this battle. So again, this is really like everything that makes a person a good breathwork facilitator, makes them a better husband, a better wife, a better daughter, son, just a better person in general. And where you can start to be more present with other people in their life. So when they're talking to you, you're not just thinking about what you're going to say next. You're really, really there with them. So really, we're looking for people who are interested in doing inner work, interested in finding out more about themselves. 1/3 of it is personal development. So out of the 3 Saturdays, 1 is personal development, 2 is facilitation skills. And in the personal development piece, we work with looking at your unconscious thinking patterns, where you can actually see what they are by looking at how you interpret things in the world and what meanings you give to things. And really start to get a deep understanding of what motivates what you're doing and what's blocking you in your life. And so also, and the reason that helps in facilitation is because, like there are times when breathers also project stuff onto you. And like, for instance, let's say the music's playing and a breather's in a blissful place, and all of a sudden they go into a dark space. And oh my God, and they open their eyes and they might say, well, let's say your name is Jim. "Jim, you don't know what you're doing. You screwed up my experience with that music track you just put on," or whatever they're going to say. And actually that is a pathway to a very healing breathwork experience, because they're accessing anger that needs to be expressed. It's one of the more powerful experiences in breathwork where you access suppressed anger or suppressed emotions. But if one of your unconscious thinking patterns is, I need to be liked, you will not be able to hold space for that person if you haven't worked with that, because you're going to be in your own world. Oh my God, does this person like me? What do I have to do here? So again, breathwork reflects life, reflects breathwork. And our goal is to not only allow you to be an amazing, amazing breathwork facilitator and be able to really make a difference in people's lives in your world, and to allow them to go out into their life feeling more self-empowered and to be able to really, manifest the life of their dreams, but also by doing your own inner work to make a difference in your own world and bring that to every area of your life, to really, dive into life more deeply. So it's both of those purposes. And so again, so the program is 6 months, the original program. And then at the end, and we focus on, many people on in-person sessions, like let's say they're life coaches or yoga teachers or whatever, and they just want to add this as an additional modality. So in the 6-month program, we focus primarily on online sessions of any size and in-person private sessions. And then there's a little 3-day intensive at the end for people who want to do in-person groups, where we just focus on things that you will find in groups, where you actually go out, and that's optional, and where you actually go out and organize a little group of 3 or 4 people and actually facilitate a group session, and then everybody comes back, discusses what happened, what went right, what went wrong, and we do a really deep dive into what happens in group sessions. And then that's the end of the program. And after the program, basically we have a continuing support structure with alumni meetings every month, where people can come and ask questions about what happened in their session. They can share what went right or what went wrong. So it's a chance for people to continue to get information from the other trainees and and you can meet people from the other classes. So we do have that continuing support structure. And also, after the session is over, most people in the sessions, you'll make lifelong friends in these things. Going through this type of intensive personal development program over 6 months, virtually everybody connects with at least some of the people and stays connected in an ongoing basis. Most people create either a WhatsApp group or something and just stay in touch. So it's a very beautiful way to make lifelong friends too, that are kind of on the same pathway in terms of making the world a better place to live in and allowing people to really manifest, the life that they want and to heal. And I guess, the last thing is, sometimes people ask me, well, how do you know this breathwork works? And, not only have I had thousands of shares from people, but we I'm a bit of a science geek. So, so there's always everything has a little bit of a science aspect to it. And so we do surveys and to really see what results are we really creating. And so in surveys, what we find is that, for instance, 89% of people who have anxiety issues get some or major relief. 84% get some or major relief from trauma. 75%, as I said, get better access to their inner guidance, inner guiding intelligence, whatever you want to call it, to source in their everyday life. People get better connection to their intuition, 72% or whatever, and it goes on and on. So, it really does work. And it's just been, for me, it's been a 6-year journey with neurodynamic breathwork, and it's been the most satisfying thing that I've ever done in my life, leading these workshops. And just, it's a privilege to hold space for people doing this important inner work. And I'm constantly grateful to all the people that show up and are really ready to do this work and transform their lives. So let me see if there's any questions here. Yes, we do. So let me catch them real quick. Okay, here we go. The first question is, does the fee we pay for the training include the weekly breathwork online? I noticed that breathwork sessions require a subscription. Okay, so let me talk about the fee structure now. That's a good question. Thank you. So there's 3 components to the fee structure. The first is for the 6-month training program. And again, it's all online. You don't have to fly anywhere or go anywhere, even though we're going to have you doing practice sessions in person. So you're going to learn how to do that too. And the fee for that is, well, if you registered right at the last minute, one day before, it would be about $6,000. Then there's $1,000 discount for early registration, which is up until a couple weeks before before it starts. So that's still in effect. And then there's another $300 discount for if you register from within a week of when we accept you into the program. And the next step would be basically, if you have interest, I'm going to send you a link to go to our training page. All the information's there, and you can fill out an application, and then we would have a one-on-one meeting with you and really dive into all your questions to really make sure that it's a good fit on both sides. And you'd be working with either myself or in the interview. I do half of them, and then one of the other trainers, Glenn, does the other half. The second piece is the little intensive at the end. If you want to do in-person groups, is a sliding scale anywhere from $300 to $500, and you can decide at the end if you want to do it. You don't have to make that decision now. And the last piece is, we have a subscription program to our platform, which allows you to do everything in our platform. That includes 20 or 22 live neurodynamic breathwork sessions, which are about two hours long each. It includes integration classes, which support you in your integration that we have monthly. It includes 4 of our shorter breathing sessions, which are more about reset breathing that we have, which is just 15 minutes of breathing. So all of that stuff's included, discounts to courses, and that's normally $57 a month. But if you're in the training, it's half price at $29 a month. And you only need to do it for the 6 months of the training. So it's only like an extra, $150 or something. And if you want to stay with our program afterwards, it stays at that half price if you want to continue with the subscription program. But again, you only have to do it during the training. Okay, and then the next question, I haven't done a lot of breath work yet. Is there a prerequisite for experience before taking the course? So basically what we're looking for, you don't have to have had a lot of experience with breath work. We're looking for people who are really committed to their own personal growth, who are willing to really do the work, and there's 2 ways to take a course like this. There's, on the extremes and then in between, one way is to just skim and do the minimum amount of work possible and just to get through and get the certificate. And the other is really to dive in and to, in the homework, really take your time with the homework, think about it, and really, really do the work. And we're looking for the dive-in people. It's a huge responsibility to facilitate breathwork sessions. You're working with people who are in, we call an expanded state of consciousness, in a very open and vulnerable space. And it's a responsibility, not only, what we're going to teach you is so you can be present in such a way so that they feel safe with you. If they don't feel safe, they won't drop in. And so they feel that you have confidence in working with whatever might come up, whether it's a dark experience or any type of experience. So that's what we're looking for. And also people who have a desire to be more present in life, to dive more deeply into what life has to offer. And so the only thing that we request is that you actually try at least one of our sessions before you join the training program, so you can see what we're going to train you to teach. But again, it's more important about are you able to be present with people? Are you committed? Are you willing to do the work? Because we'll teach you everything you need, and you'll be doing a lot of breath work during the training. So we're looking more for committed, passionate people. So you don't have to have done a lot of breath work now. And next question, how does NDB differ from other forms? And again, first of all, it's fully self-directed, which is one of the major differences, where we basically tell people, trust your inner guidance to bring up whatever experience is ready to be experienced today. And so people will not bring up stuff that they're not ready to handle. Their inner guidance will not do that. So you can be confident that if it's brought up, they're capable of processing through, but they can always choose. They slow down the breath, they'll fall out of the experience, but ultimately they'll at least know that if they want to, they can process through what is being brought up, because it's not being pushed on them by the facilitator. And we tell people, surrender to the process, let go of any expectations, don't set any agendas, don't have any judgments about what happens during the session. Just open your heart to whatever your inner guidance wants to bring you, and dive as deeply as possible into that. So that's a huge difference in terms of, as I said, most breathworks are directive. And other differences are just in terms of, for instance, with the introductory talk, our number one priority is safety. And safety always comes first. And so every session, and actually every session except on our platform, we have about a third of the sessions are for people who are on our subscription program who have already heard our introductory talk. But if there's ever any people who have not heard the introductory talk, we always go through it at the beginning of each session. No one ever does that. It's about a 25 to 30-minute intro talk that makes people feel completely comfortable with whatever may happen. We talk about the types of experiences that they might have. We talk about the different things that could happen in their body and in their psyche. We talk about the contraindications. There's certain physiological and psychological conditions under which it's not safe to do this kind of breath work, to make sure that everybody can participate safely, what the principles are. And so we make sure that everybody has all the information they need in order to participate safely. And also, we are always fully available during the session, even online. People connect with me during private chat. And afterwards, we have an integration support email where people can email me, I answer all of them personally, to answer any questions they have about their integration process. We also have a focus on integration, which is extremely important, which many breathworks do not. Where again, for our subscribers, we have an integration class every month. We have all kinds of resources that we have for people. So it's not just like people do breath work and then okay, go deal with it. We want to make sure that they, even in their integration process, they're supported. So those are two of the big differences, our focus on safety and our focus on people feeling more self-empowered, tuning into their inner guiding intelligence, and also for them to have a structure with the integration so they can really embody the experience and bring it back into their lives. That's really important. We don't want a breathwork session to be like, sometimes you go to these weekend workshops where you're all pumped up and you're like jumping around and stuff. And then you go back into your life and 2 days later, you're just back into your stuff, back into your routines, it's all gone. We want people to embody these experiences and to have it make a difference in their life. And, I firmly believe in Einstein's quote that you can't resolve issues from the same level of consciousness that they're created from. And that's part of my passion for this breathwork. I can really see that breathwork is a pathway to allow people to shift their consciousness and to start to really make a difference, not only for themselves, but in general on the planet. Okay, and then we have a question. How can we experience this breathwork for free to see how it resonates? Everybody on our platform, everybody can come in and do a free session. So first session is always free, so you can really check it out. And I do recommend that you do a session, really to see what it's like, to see how you feel, to stay for the share group at the end and see what kind of experiences other people share. So you want to, even though we scheduled them for 2 hours, I would leave 2.5 hours. So you can hear, a lot of the shares from other people. And also at this time, if this is your first schedule, workshop with us, or your first neurodynamic breath work, after the session, we're also going to be offering you a whole month for free, like just a little trial subscription. So you can really see, what it works like to do it on a regular basis. But after the first session, you'll be in a much better position to see like whether this is something that you want to learn how to do the intro talk, learn how to hold space, learn how to do what I'm doing, or all three of the trainers, myself and Glenn and Saimi, we're the 3 people that lead the online sessions. So you'll see, in essence, what you're going to be trained to do in the online stuff. And again, we're also going to be training you for in-person also. And yeah, we encourage you to try out a session either, after you, have your discovery call with us or before. And again, like your next step after this would be to go to our training page and to just, fill out an application if you're interested in kind of just finding out more. And, and then we would schedule a discovery call with you. And then we have a question, once trained, can you start with virtual training, or is it recommended that one start with in-person training? You can totally start with virtual training. Actually, virtual training, virtual sessions are easier, believe it or not. There's things that you have to learn for in-person training when you're actually there with the person. Like, it's like additional information you need, because there's, just as an example, there's something that we call release work, where, normally with a person, when they, in their experience, many times in order to release stuck energy in their body, and any times you suppress an emotion into your body, there will be some kind of bioenergy that's stuck. Your body automatically maximizes tension, then releases it. And sometimes, occasionally, it won't quite get to the maximization point. And so you can actually do what we call release work to support the completion of that process in an in-person session. So that's an additional training that we do in the 6 months, just to, show you how to do all of that. So yes, you can absolutely start with online sessions. Okay, what are the dates of the 3 times months per session? What is the benefit of offering group in-person sessions? Why offer them? So the first session starts Saturday, March 2nd. And, in the email I'll be sending you afterwards, later today, I'll give you a link to which shows you all of the sessions, and also a link to go to the page if you want to fill out an application, and also a link so you can, sign up for your free session if you choose to do so. So, and let's see here. And what is the benefit of offering group in-person sessions? Why offer them? It's really about, some people prefer online sessions as breathers. Some people prefer in person. There's, you could say, pluses and minuses. Many people really love online sessions because, many times people are really releasing a lot physically. Sometimes there's sound releases like screaming and yelling. Sometimes they're just moving around. Emotions come up, crying, laughing. You're just, and they can feel, completely non-suppressed when they're in a private and they know no one's watching them. And so they just love that. They can do it from their bedroom. Other people prefer, like, when they're in an in-person group, or even in-person individual, when they're in a group, they, like, other things are happening in the room and they feel supported by that. Other people, get distracted by that. So it's really personal preference. And so, the only reason to do in-person group sessions is if, that's one of the ways of the modality that you want. If you want to work with, like, let's say 5 or 6 or 10 people at once, and, where you have a helper, some people just really enjoy that, being in an in-person setting and, working with these groups. So, but there's no reason, you don't have to do it. The vast majority of people really love the online sessions, and will be attracted to that. But again, some people do prefer in-person sessions. And just one example of people have had really, really deep trauma, and it's really active for them. Sometimes it's helpful to have someone who can hold their hand or something like that. So, and whether you do a private in-person session or groups, it's really just personal choice, honestly. And so where can I participate in a course? So for online, again, we offer them on our platform 5 days every week at different times of the day. So, some are in the morning, some are in the evening. So no matter where you are in the world, you can find something. And I'm going to send you the link to where you can sign up for that within an hour and a half after the session's over. What 2 books are required for the training? Okay, so we have a couple of guest speakers during the training. And again, this is our commitment to really give you the most powerful training possible. So when there are outside experts, we grab them. One is on ethics. And there's ethics is a very important component of the training, because as you work with people and they're in these really vulnerable open spaces, they can get attached to you. And so it's very important to know where to draw the lines and, you know, how to interact with them outside of the sessions, and to really make sure that you're centered in your own being, and what you're doing is basically for them and not for you. So there's a whole book on ethics that we have from one of the worldwide experts and she's used in many of the psychedelic trainings for ethics and in holotropic breathwork. Her name's Kylia Taylor, and you read her book, and she actually personally leads the session on ethics. We also have one other guest speaker on what we call spiritual emergence or spiritual emergency. If you haven't heard about what that means, it's basically sometimes in breathwork, people can have this experience where they just really get clear on what their purpose in life is. And actually, when we do surveys, over half of people get more clarity on their purpose in life. And sometimes it's not what they're doing. They might have been in a corporate world for 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden they see, no, I really wasn't making a difference. I wasn't really allowing myself to fully express who I am. I should be doing healing work or something else. And some people just get super inspired by that. Other people have a difficult time with that, because they see, like, you know, oh my God, they go, oh, I've wasted 10 years of my life. Oh my God, whatever. And people can totally work through that. But again, we have a special session on that. And with the teacher being the person who has the only spiritual emergence center in the entire country. So again, we're committed to having this be the top training in the world. And the second book is The Power Within by Tav Sparks, who ran he passed away a couple of years ago, but who ran the holotropic breathwork facilitator training for over 25 years. Those are the two books. Do you offer a free trial session? Of our breathwork, yes. Everybody's first session is free. And the next question is this work an advancement from rebirthing work? And, you know, as I said, again, each breathwork style or type has its own purpose. And, you know, rebirthing work, from my understanding, is where it's specifically kind of designed to have you go through your birth process and to re-experience that, to release some of the trauma that's involved in that. So you're kind of pushing through something. This is more of like, that's one of the experiences you can have. But there's an incredibly wide range of experiences that are available in breathwork. And just to give you some in neurodynamic breathwork, and just to give you some examples, physical releases. You know, you can have a ton of movement. You can scream, you can yell, you can tone as your body's like releasing energy. You can be like kind of like rolling around. You can get up and be pounding pillows, or just all those kinds of physical, you know, things can happen. You can also have, as I said, like these sound experiences where you're screaming and yelling. You can have like a rebirthing experience. It's one of the possible experiences. You can have what we call transpersonal experiences, where you feel more connected to yourself, more connected to the planet, more connected to other people. You can have past life experiences. You can have ancestral healing experiences. You can have experience where you feel like you're dissolved into the universe. You can have release of sexual energy. That's one of the experiences. And your sex energy is your life force energy. It's the energy that, you know, evolution has given you to make you want to have kids and keep the human race going. If there's any suppression there, you know, that can get released. All of those things can happen. Sometimes people get insights into issues in their lives. So it's really like, again, not setting an intention like, okay, you're going to go through a rebirthing process, just opening your heart to whatever you're ready to experience. And many times, you know, it starts with kind of physical sensory releases. It's kind of like layers of an onion, and just not judging the experience and letting whatever wants to happen, happen. So it's not an advancement, it's just different with a different purpose. Yes. Okay, and what is required to be selected? Any special skills, any special profession? We've had people from all different professions, you know, everywhere from psychotherapists to MDs to gardeners and so it's really not about that. And it's really more about a commitment to really doing the work and diving in, and a willingness to do your own inner work, to learn more about yourself and to really dive into your unconscious and be willing to take a look into some what might be some very difficult material that may come up, from your own unconscious, and being, basically willing to do your own work, whatever that brings up. And also an a willingness to learn how to be completely present, which does take commitment. It takes working on it in your life, basically, it's not just working on it for 2 minutes, and many people have already done something in their life where they've been present for other people, whether it's been working with a relative who's passed away, doesn't have to be breath work, working with someone in a difficult space, like going through a grief process where you just kind of let go of your own agenda and you're just fully present with them. But either, having been worked with those skills, or being committed to developing those skills. So basically that's what we're looking for. And really, I mean, for me, it's someone who has a passion about, really contributing to the world and really allowing people to find their power and to dive into their own power. And this is a really good question. I want to do this for myself and not be a facilitator. Is this program for me? Absolutely. Some people don't have interest in being a facilitator. They want to do it for their own personal growth. Really just to be able to dive more deeply into life, to be more present with their friends, to be a more effective, whether it's father or mother, or just to be able to hold space for people, to learn more about themselves, to learn more about their unconscious thinking patterns, to learn more about how to really look inside and find out what their purpose is in life, really just for personal development. So absolutely, wanting to do it just for yourself, again, this course is also perfect for that. And okay, so just briefly, I just want to play a video recording, just a few minutes, of someone who's been through the breath, our training program, so you can kind of see for yourself, like what it's like. So give me a moment here.
Right. I just finished the neurodynamic breathwork facilitation course, and I wanted to make this short video to help you get a better understanding of what this program is all about and what you can get out of it. I have to tell you that for me personally, the program was absolutely life changing. It was one of the best courses I've ever taken in my life, not only for the things I've learned, but for the person I became through going through the process. Uh, the course covers everything you need to know to become a breathwork facilitator. It covers all the technical stuff, how to set up a breathwork session, how to do the intro talk and explain how everything works, how to do the legal forms and the waivers, how to set up a business, all the ethical considerations, all of the things that you would normally expect to learn in a course on facilitation. You will learn that. You'll be extremely empowered and equipped to become a good facilitator. But that's only part of the story. The main thing about this course is the personal growth that you'll experience. You literally become a different person. You learn that in order that the best way you can help heal somebody else is to heal yourself, to work on yourself. And the program really emphasizes that. And you learn more about yourself, your human psyche, why you're doing the things that you're doing, and how to stop doing those things that are harmful, and how to learn. I feel like I've grown in my capacity to be fully present with other people and to open my heart and to really allow love and light to shine through me and to hold space for people so that they can heal. I have to tell you that one of the most amazing things about this course are the people that come here. There's something about breath work that attracts people that are vibrating on a higher vibrational level. And I fell in love with my classmates. They are absolutely some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. And I've made friends with people literally from all over the world that I consider deep, deep friends as a result of going through this program together. And I feel like what we're doing in breathwork and in the class I took is that we are working together to heal world consciousness, to raise the level of consciousness in our entire planet. And I feel like it's part of a larger movement. And if you're thinking about taking this course, I would say only if you want to have your life changed forever, because you will be changed. You will get everything that you need to become a great breathwork, neurodynamic breathwork facilitator, but you'll get much, much more out of the course. So I encourage you to ask questions, talk with Glenn, talk with Michael, talk with Saimi, uh, who does a lot of the personal development in the course. Uh, Ask questions, get your questions answered, and when you're ready to change your life and you're ready to change the world, then go ahead and sign up. And I look forward to meeting you someday in the alumni group. So, namaste.
All right. Okay. So again, thank you so much for sharing your day with me and for allowing me the opportunity to talk about the training to you. And again, we have about 10 spots left. So if this is something you're called to do, I would just kind of hop in and at least sign up for a discovery call, and fill out the application. And you'll see it's not like a 30-second application. We really want to get a sense of who you are, so we can get a good sense of if you're a good fit. So just take your time with it. It'll take maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes to fill it out, and and then we'll connect with you. So thank you all. Much love to everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope to see you all in a breathwork session or in one of our training classes soon.